All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about the so called rock media in real time as they talk about David Lee Roth. And of course, doing what I do in real time for a few real people out here, just like you right there, and just like me here. All right, before I address how the rock media is covering the David Lee Roth comeback, it's just I don't know, folks. Maybe everybody's going deaf. Maybe that's what's happening. I don't know. Maybe it's just that everyone is so starstruck. They're like, it's David Lee Roth. He's back. He's standing there. He's on stage. He's wearing spandex. All right. Before I continue on with that rant, Outlasted. Go check this out. I know a lot of people won't. It's called Universal Human Desire. I had the band on the show last week. They were fantastic. Great people, great music. And I know I got like 200 views or something on the video. So nobody wants to hear about new music. They want to hear about Dave, not me. Not Harmless Dave. They want to hear about Diamond Dave. So check out this, right? So this is a well-known classic rock website. I am not going to throw them under the bus by name, but if you get stuff in your feed, even if you're not trying to get stuff in your feed, like you pick up your phone and it says a headline from the world of classic rock, you'll probably stumble on articles from this particular website. So they, like other outlets, are covering the David Lee Roth comeback. So here's the first line. David Lee Roth made a triumphant comeback, a Rick Emmett style comeback. That's how big it was. From a 5-year stage absence Saturday night at the M3 Festival, delivering a strong set of Van Halen classics with the help of a killer 8-piece band. Now, what specifically about what David Lee Roth did is a triumphant comeback. Now, it is a comeback. But what did David Lee Roth do to help deliver a strong set? Well, they are saying he had this killer 8-piece band. All right. So, say I recruit some dude off the street who can sing Van Halen classics, and there are a few of them. Say I find someone who I know could sing these songs. Mitch Malloy comes to mind. Say Mitch Malloy goes out there with a killer 8-piece band. Let's just be honest here. Mitch Malloy, the guy who was supposed to be the new singer for Van Halen after Van Halen and Sammy Hagar split apart. And instead, they brought David Lee Roth back for some MTV appearance, and then that went nowhere. And Mitch Malloy got a song from Eddie, and eventually he finished the song. Who do you think would sound better right now, David Lee Roth or Mitch Malloy? Let's just be honest. I mean, it's pretty easy here. Now, you're going to say, well, but it's David Lee Roth. People love Dave. He's a great front man. He's a terrific showman. All of which could be said about Mitch Malloy. Why not? Mitch Malloy looks great. He's got the hair still. No hair transplants. When he tries to hit a high note, he doesn't squeak. Doesn't sound like somebody stepped on his foot. No, there's a difference. So when you say that Roth delivered a strong set, what you're saying is he had a strong band that pretty much carried the water for Dave and maybe made people think a little bit less about David Lee Roth. Now, I did a video earlier where I said, compared to other people who are out there, Dave was kind of right in the middle. And that's not saying Dave did a great job. What that is saying is that the classic rock world has a big problem right now. They've got people who shouldn't be out there. And I would put Roth in that category. I'm almost ready to put Sammy Hagar in that category. I am. I'm pretty close. Sammy is what? Maybe 8 or 9 years older than Dave? Something like that. I think Sammy held up better for a longer period of time, but it's almost time. Lou Gramm apparently is going to be out there until 2026. He probably shouldn't be out there. And there's a growing list of people who need to throw in the towel. Now, if you're happy about the Roth comeback, all right, the triumphant Rick Emmett comeback, it's a little Triumph joke there. All right, sorry. I know some people might not get it. You know, if you think just by Roth being on stage, that's a triumphant comeback, then it was. It was exhilarating. It was one of the greatest things that ever happened. Well, no, but it was a pretty big deal for the year 2025. That a guy who said he was going to retire and that his doctor, you can look up the article, his doctor said that he couldn't keep doing this. I'm not sure what the issue was. Maybe just old age. Maybe too many leg kicks that didn't work out. I don't know. Maybe the spandex is just a little too tight. Could be any number of things. Of course, Roth likes to joke around, and the people like when he tells jokes. How many retirements did Rocky have? 9? So again, he got the call from Gene Simmons. They're old buddies. Gene said, hey, Dave, just go out there. You don't have to sound good. Just get a really good band, pay them well, charge a lot for the tickets. Of course, he's part of this M3 festival, but wait for it. Dave is hinting around that he's going to be out on the road. Now, again, I talked about this in the first video. Dave is trying to really reclaim his Van Halen lineage. He's not doing any solo material, which I think is kind of a bummer because you're not going to hear any David Lee Roth solo coming out of any other singers. So Roth should put in a couple of tunes. I mean, he's got some great stuff that he did as a solo artist, but he's focusing on Van Halen. Now, they go on to say Roth made great use of a new 4-piece band of backing vocalists or group of backing vocalists. A brilliant addition to his live show and a textbook example. Now, listen to this, of turning a recent weakness into a strength. Now, Roth has been away for 5 years. What's the recent weakness that's being turned into a strength? I'm just a little bit fuzzy on this one. Was the last band he had weak? Or are they hinting that, you know, Dave isn't really a great singer anymore, so that's his weakness. So this new band that is backing him up, that obscures the vocals of Dave or makes you forget that Dave really can't sing, and it turns it into a strength. Ain't no tracks up here tonight, baby, he noted at one point. Yeah, and I say that's a good thing. That's a plus. But I'll tell you what, it would be a better thing if it sounded good. Ain't no tracks. I know when Lou Gramm is singing. No tracks on that. Nope. And there are others where you go, well, this is what we're reduced to. And how much are people paying for these tickets? Well, there are no tracks, Dave. I thought that was awesome. Really? You thought it was awesome? Did it sound good? Well, give him credit for singing. It's good. I love this answer. It's good for what it is. You don't expect him to sing like he did 30 or 40 years ago. Well, here's the deal. If he's out there, I expect him to sound good. If he still thinks he can do this, then I expect him to sound good. Now, vocalists, they change. Typically, their voices either get deeper or they get raspier, or in some cases, like Don Barnes from 38 Special, they get thinner and weaker. And I'm not dumping on Don Barnes, but I'm just like, guys, I mean, your songs are on the radio still. The A-B comparison is horrifying. It's like, yeah, did Roth get through the show? Yeah. Did he embarrass himself? No. Again, not compared to some of the things I've been listening to. And I know what he's thinking. He's thinking, if they can do it, I can do it. And I'm David Lee Roth. I've got personality. I can go out there and just wow the audience with my stage presence. Again, I'll take Mitch Malloy any day of the week because Mitch can still sing. He looks good. And he could do all of the David Lee Roth material and probably some of the Sammy Hagar material. I wish that Mitch would take his Van Halen band out on the road because he'd be better. And with me, it's about the music. It's not about the stage presence. It's not about the 12 guys in the backing band with great singing voices who are trying to make up for the guy who is supposed to be your lead singer, right? So this happens all the time where the backing singers are pitching in so much that the other guy who's supposed to be your lead singer is kind of buried in the mix. I don't know. I don't think I want to pay for that. You could get anybody who could sing and put them with one of these amazing backup bands and send them out on the road, give them a David Lee Roth mask to wear, right? Oh, but you don't understand. That's actually Dave, and that's more important to me than anything else. I don't know. I guess he's just taking a cue from his buddy Gene Simmons. It's smart. It's smart business because apparently people in my age group and people older are okay with just throwing their money away. They're cool with it. You know, of all the entertainment choices they could make at this stage, why not find a good local band and go see them? Spend less money, travel less, and don't have your memories ruined because most people have seen Van Halen or have seen David Lee Roth or whatever when they were younger. There's plenty of footage. You can just go look it up and say, wow, I mean, he doesn't even look like the same guy. And it's partly because of the aging, right? The aging process, but his style, the way he dresses, everything has changed. Sammy Hagar is a little bit more no nonsense, blue collar. And so I don't know. It's easier for me to watch Sammy Hagar perform and probably listen to Sammy Hagar than it is to watch and listen to Dave, right? And I don't know. At some point, folks, self-awareness needs to be a thing. But if people keep buying the tickets, they're going to keep showing up. Frankie Valli is what, 91 years old? He's not even singing. He's just miming, and he looks like he's going to fall over, and people are still showing up to see him. It's elder abuse, all right? And with Roth, he's like, hey, maybe I'll shoot for a new tattoo cream. I don't know how that last one went. Remember, he was investing in a tattoo removal cream. This is after the song Tattoo came out, the Van Halen song. I don't know how that went because, you know, sometimes you get a tattoo and then you're embarrassed years later. Of course you are. That's permanent. It's supposed to be permanent. Most of them can be removed, but it's not an easy process. Just like trying to remove the sound from your brain after you listen to David Lee Roth doing Panama, right? Oh, but his band is amazing. And it was a triumphant return to the stage. All right, well, here's the deal. I know some people will go and listen to this and say, yeah, it was all right. I mean, hey, I wouldn't go see it. Or, hey, I would go see Dave just to see Dave. I mean, there are all kinds of answers that people give me, but I'm just perplexed. I'm just, it's just, you're spending all of this money. And what are you listening to? I'm like, no, don't do it. In fact, Dave would be better off to say, hey, I want to put Mitch Malloy out there in my place. I'll take like 10% of the revenue or something, and I don't have to do anything. And I'll call it Mitch Malloy and the David Lee Roth Band, right? So I get some credit, and Mitch goes out there and sings the songs and and looks presentable and is a great front man, and his voice hasn't failed yet. So that's the way I would do it. Same with Gene Simmons. He should probably think about doing that too. But these guys have egos. Egos are they're bigger than the venues that they play in. They just really big egos. So anyway, I don't know. That won't make a lot of sense to some of you. Other people are going to be like, yeah, I get it. But then there's another crowd that's like, shut up. Leave him alone. If he wants to go out there, let him go out there. What are you complaining about? You're not going to these shows. Dang right I'm not going to these shows. I mean, this is embarrassing. I grew up in the heyday of this music. I mean, concerts that I went to. I mean, just going to see certain bands and thinking back like how good they were. And then if they're still around today, you're like, no, they shouldn't be around. Or the sad thing is many of them are no longer around or have broken up or the band has been taken over by another band. Little River Band, anyone? It's just a different band. It's a bro country band. Used to be this cool Australian pop rock band. Now it's like, I don't know, it's Nashville or something. I don't know what it is, but, and people are going to forget. As time goes on, they're just going to forget. And I'm here to remind people until people don't want to be reminded anymore, which, I don't know, 10 years from now, people are going to be like, I don't remember that. What are you talking about? And at that point, folks, if these people are still out here touring and singing, it's just going to get sad. It's already sad. It's just going to get ridiculous and sad. And we need to kind of cheerlead in a different direction. That's why, I showcase music. These guys said that they would come to the States and open up for bands like Foreigner or Toto, since those are two bands that influenced them. They're from Norway, Outlasted, Universal Human Desire. Check it out. It's not embarrassing. It's good music. I think you'll like it. I think the singer might be better than the current version of David Lee Roth. Just putting it out there. Anyway, folks, if you like Dave, you're just going to go see Dave because it's Dave. Hey, I saw David Lee Roth. That's amazing. Me, I'm not really all that enamored with celebrities and names. I want to hear the music. And if the music kind of stinks, I don't want to pay for that. Nope. I can just watch the cell phone videos and say, man, I dodged a bullet there. I was thinking about going. Glad I didn't go. All right. I'm done rambling. God bless David Lee Roth. God bless his amazing band, which is basically carrying him along. And I'm sure he's going to book more gigs and more dates because people are all pumped and excited, especially the classic rock media.